Hello guys, welcome back to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to the video with Stratus Forecast Weather here. In today's video, we're going to be going over multiple things. We're going to be going over a hurricane or tropical storm Mellissa. It is right now. We're going to be going over the potential for this to become a major, if not extreme hurricane, that is Category 3 hurricane or higher, and it potentially could even reach Category 4 or Category 5 hurricane status. There's also a severe weather threat coming up this afternoon. Let's get right into it. So this is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical storm Mellissa. This is the 5 o'clock a.m. advisory. As you can see here, this track here, I'll show you in a minute. It's taking this very slow. The storm is moving very slowly, and it's taking a westerly turn. And if this does go farther west, which it possibly could around this, we have big problems. But right now, Jamaica could be on the side of getting extreme rainfall, very heavy rainfall, and potentially catastrophic flooding and damaging winds. And due to this, this is the rainfall forecast expected. So it could be in excess of anywhere from 6 to as much as 30 inches of rain, which it could be higher. Now we're going to take a look at the severe weather outlook. So we've got a few outlooks today. I'm going to go over the main ones. This is the one outlook for today. So this one is expected for hail. The hail is going to be the primary threat, I think. Damaging winds will also be a threat, but tornadoes are not out of the question. There's a 5% risk of tornadoes that involves portion of central and eastern Texas. There is a 2% risk of tornadoes that involves southwestern portions of Oklahoma, and pretty much the entire state of Texas. Only exceptions are being in the far western corner, extreme northwestern areas of Texas, eastern Texas, and southern Texas. There's also the wind threat, which is a 15% risk. This includes pretty much the entire western half of Texas, and there's a 5% risk of it, including southwestern and central portions of Oklahoma, northern Texas, portions of central Texas, and the split corners are not the ones that are involved. There's also a hail risk, which is a 15% risk. There's a 5% risk that includes portions of southwestern portions of Oklahoma. There's a portion that includes central portions of Texas, and notice all corners of the state are not included. And the large 15% risk that includes central and western portions of Texas. This is for tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail. This threat continues through the day on Saturday, with the slight risk of severe weather extending all the way down into portions of southern Louisiana, southwestern portions of Mississippi, southern Texas, and it includes a 5% risk of tornadoes as well. That includes southeastern Texas, southern Louisiana, and southwestern portions of Mississippi. There's a 15% risk of damaging winds for portions of southwestern Mississippi, southern Louisiana, and southeastern Texas. And there's that 15% risk, which is right here, which includes southwestern portions of Mississippi, southern Louisiana, and southeastern portions of Texas. There's also a hail risk, which goes a little bit farther to the west. A large 5% risk that includes portions of central Texas, central Louisiana, and southern Louisiana and southern Texas, as well as portions of extreme southwestern portions of Mississippi, and then a 15% risk of hail that includes portions of southeastern Texas. And then the outlook does keep going. That threat continues through the day on Monday, Sunday to Monday, where a marginal risk of severe weather is in place for portions of southeastern Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southwestern portions of Alabama, and northwestern Florida. And that is a 5% risk. Now we're going to get on to the satellite imagery. So right now, here is the actual tropical storm itself. It really hasn't really developed all that much, and it's not expected to for the next couple of days. It is trying to move to the west, and you can see it here. It is moving to the west, very slowly to the west. You can kind of see it. It's moving to the west, though. And these are the spaghetti models. Oh, let that load for a second. These are the spaghetti models that have this thing going straight to the northeast. There's a few of these members that get close to the east coast, and the pattern has been to shift these more to the east coast. So that's not a good thing. And as you can see, it's expected to reach Category 4 status. It could either go over Jamaica, it could go around here, but there's also that other solution where you could have something that goes around like this, which the GTPS and the Icon model and the UK Met, matter of fact, are all predicting, and the European model is not going with it. The European model is by far the most accurate model in my opinion. So Category 4 can reach intensity of 144 miles per hour with wind gusts in excess of 173 miles per hour. So it has been very slowly moving off to the west. Now we're going to get into the models. Okay, so now we're going to look at the ensemble models because these have been doing an okay job. So this ensemble model predicts this thing is going to go around and then kind of stall and go around it. Go around Jamaica. And you can see where all these numbers are. These are clustered right around that low, which means that there's fairly high confidence that this thing is going to take a turn like this. And the wind gusts will be extreme, if not powerful, with wind gusts in excess of well over 50 miles per hour. If we take a look at one of the other European models, you can see here it does the similar thing. It goes around it. Now things can change when we're finally getting a handle on what could potentially happen next week. You can see here it kind of goes over the Jamaica, but just on the western side of it. Now this is not set in stone yet. We go with the GFS model. Same thing, goes over the islands. The icon model goes right over Jamaica, right over it. And the latest run is now coming out now, and it says it's moving north. And you can see here, same thing with this is a National Weather Service model run, which means if this is correct, this is going to be really, really bad for the U.S. Really bad. You can see the National Weather Service's one is moving it towards the farther to the west, and then the National Weather Service blends a model which is not available. Now we're going to take a look at the European model. So here's the latest European model run. This is from this morning. I want to go back and model run. So things have been shifting back and forth, west and east, but it's been primarily the same exact area. So it goes there, it cuts around Jamaica a little bit, and then crosses back over Jamaica and then goes off. My only concern with this is you can see this nor'easter developing off the southeast coastline. If this gets out of here fast enough, the jet stream unlocks it, which means there's basically the jet stream pattern is like this, which means it could actually be a bit farther to the west. That's my only concern. And then another nor'easter besides that. So we're getting into the pattern of winter. But what's the difference between this model and the model today? Same thing, really. A little bit farther to the nor'easter for New England, but same thing. Same thing right across that corner. GFS model, it kind of goes kind of in a similar direction. So the GFS model, I think, is finally starting to get a handle on it with a major nor'easter for Maine. And then beyond that, we get a bunch of other storms. But then you look at models like the GTPS model. It takes this thing farther to the west, which means a potential impact for New England. And notice how close that gets. This is called a future war effect. We're damn close to it. And then here we go. This is the Icon model, which is kind of a solution with the GFS model. Still shows that nor'easter, but shows this storm farther to the west. Then you got the UK Met model. It goes farther to the west, and it does something similar. What about the CFS model? The CFS model does something similar, right over and goes farther over here. So are we seeing a trend westward like this, or are we seeing a trend more like this? That's the question. It's a major question too, because it's all going to depend. Because if we see this storm here, let me just do a little bit of analyzation for you. So if we look at the storm, so we have this first this jet stream is positioned just like this. The cold front is right here, and as we go like this, and we go, you can see the pressure bar is getting tighter, which means you got a nor'easter coming in. But my only concern is if this gets out of here fast enough, there's enough where if this thing can break apart, there's enough space for this storm to go right up into New England, and this is a powerful storm, and that's what it's trying to do. But the problem is there's high pressure blocking here, so the jet stream is kind of positioned like that. But if this thing waits off longer and waits for the next storm to come in, we could be looking at if this is just wrong and this storm moves farther to the west and this stuff is farther to the west, then there's a direct pathway. And this is the one I'm talking about. This is the one I'm talking about, the GTPS model. It goes farther to the west, the trough comes in faster, and then the other trough also comes in and it digs straight northward. We also have another model I forgot to look at, an ensemble model. The Canadian does something similar, pulls in northward, but then it kind of splits. But the majority of them kind of just go like this. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, I don't know, to be honest, because I'm trying to look at everything, and there's high pressure blocking here, there's high pressure blocking here, there's a high pressure blocking here. I don't know what's steering it to the west. The high pressure blocks it. If this high pressure is even farther to the west, the entire East Coast could be dealing with an issue. Well, you're going to be dealing with an issue regardless, rip currents. But this storm here, if it takes a turn like the GFS is suggesting, then we won't see any impacts. If it takes a turn more like the European model, then we could be dealing with some minor impacts. But if we dealing with a western storm, we will be dealing with impact, and it will be bad because it will clip potentially portions of New England. In terms of how much rainfall we could be seeing, well, let's take a look. So the rainfall could be excessive. We could be talking about anywhere from, let me see here. This is easily over 30 inches plus, I think. So we could be dealing with a lot of rainfall here. And it looks like a streak of rainfall. It looks like a streak of rainfall that goes right over here. What about the GFS model? Again, the GFS model is an outlier at this point because it's not even right. All right, so now that we've covered the hurricane track and potentials, let's take a look at the severe weather threat for today. So the severe weather threat today, there's already thunderstorms starting to develop. As we go through the afternoon, we're going to see a line of thunderstorms starting to develop right here. Now, I think this could be a derecho, but I don't think it's going to stay strong long enough. This does not scream a tornado potential to me. If there's anything that can develop out ahead of it, yes. But there could be some embedded tornadoes here. This does not really well represent it, but I would watch this line here, and I would watch any supercells ahead of it, and it looks like we have another cluster of thunderstorms that come through on Saturday, which impact southern, which include probably some hail, an isolated tornado threat, and damaging winds, and then that continues like that. So yeah, same thing here. Same thing here. Here's the latest run. Looks like a potential for a damaging wind threat. I would not even be shocked if they issue an enhanced risk like right in this bubble right here, just due to the fact. And I do think QCLS tornado threat is in play today. But if we go and that means embedded tornadoes within the line of thunderstorms, and then we see another clustering of thunderstorms pulling through into Louisiana. Now we're going to take a look at the HRRR model. Same thing, big clustering of thunderstorms as it goes through, major damaging wind threat, and then it continues through, and we could see a re-emerging of that event. Now, I don't think this is going to be a tornado. I don't think this tornado threat is going to be overly high. I think this is going to be mostly a damaging wind threat and isolated hail threat because, I mean, the tornado parameters are elevated ahead of it, but the question is, do we get convection out ahead of it, and can we actually get tornadoes out of this? I do think there's a possibility if we can get some individual supercells at like on the southern line of it or in ahead of it. But as we continue on, you can see it. I would be concerned here in parts of southern Louisiana because it looks like we have like a clustering of thunderstorms that come through, and it looks like these are almost rotating. And then we get another batch to come through during the afternoon and evening hours. Now, if we look at the temperatures for today, temperatures are going to be steamy. Now, it's not going to be perfect for severe weather, obviously, but this is more than enough. 70 to 80 degree temperatures that continue through the evening, and 70 degree temperatures remain, and then it reemerges and only into the 70s. So the temperatures are a check. The dew point is the other question. Do the dew points get Yeah, the dew points are looking favorable. We're talking 60 to 70 degrees dew points right there. And I think I would really watch out for Saturday. I would really watch out for Saturday because if Saturday plays, because there's a lot of moisture, which means there's a lot of potential for tornadoes. Now, I want to take a look at the photographs real quick. The photographs are just through the roof. This means the spin is there. I just don't know. I just don't think it's going to be as elevated due to the fact that we don't have a whole ton of, it's more linear line of thunderstorms. And you can see that because the wind shear, and we can take a look at the wind shear real quick. There's plenty of wind shear, and it's kind of in a linear pattern. You see that? It's kind of like in that kind of pattern. But there is enough wind shear for spin up tornadoes as well. So I think if I look here real quick, this environment is favorable for tornadoes. This threat is definitely, and then the supercell composite, we can look at that as well. The supercell composite is right there. The supercell composite is very favorable. Now the question is, do these things line up? So if we take a look at 2503Z on the reflectivity, sort of, not really though, but there's no question about it. We're going to see some damaging winds and hail, and obviously some tornadoes are obviously possible too. I want to take a look at another model, the RRFS model. So it's showing showers right now, and then we get the RFS model is going crazy with this. It looks like multiple supercell thunderstorms, and then they finally cluster into a bunch of line of thunderstorms. But there's still the potential for a few rotating thunderstorms on the western half of this. And this is through tonight into tomorrow morning, and then all day tomorrow. And then I would watch out for maybe a threat of tornadoes down here as well. And then another re-emerging line of thunderstorms develop on Sunday, which could include damaging winds, hail, and tornadoes, obviously. And then I would really be concerned for Sunday because it looks like we have multiple rotating thunderstorms here along this line. So yeah, I'd say the significant threat on this one is going to be elevated, just due to the fact that you're having more of it. Yeah. Okay, so that's that threat. Those are those threats, but it continues on through the day on Monday as well. So we'll take a look at that threat as well. So here's the threat for Monday. So here comes the line of thunderstorms. Yeah, and then here comes the threat. Here we go. So it doesn't go all the way up, but that's okay. We'll use the NAM model. We will use the NAM model. Looks like that line of thunderstorms. I don't see much of a threat for Monday, honestly, besides over here. And there could be a few rotating thunderstorms too. And if you take a look at the significant tornado parameter, plenty of it. But I also want to take a look at the wind shear as well. The wind shear, could this play a role? Yes, absolutely. The wind shear is very unstable. The wind shear in here is pockets of nearly 40 to 50, 40 to 65, 40 to 75 knots. Plenty of wind shear. So I think there's going to be potential for damaging winds across Texas. I just don't think there's going to be a huge tornado threat. There's a potential for a few tornadoes within the line of thunderstorms, but overall, the supercell, the ability for the tornado making is going to be limited just due to the fact that it's more of a linear line of thunderstorms. That's the only problem. All right, now I'm going to look through the future. So we have winter coming up, obviously. So things are looking favorable. We are in a favorable pattern for winter weather, which is a great thing. It looks like the CFS is already starting to see that. It looks like multiple winter storms. If we look at the temperatures, and this is just through November, by the way, the temperatures are becoming more favorable. And if you look over the continental globe here, there's a bunch of cold air here being ready to be pushed down. See that? All this cold air stored. And what do we see with the EPS model for a fact? We see this cold air trying to pull down. So I think winter's coming a little bit earlier than expected. And then the storm potential is also there because we are in what's called a positive PNA with a weak La Nina, which is the recipe for a disaster, and I guess expected to go into um, a neutral phase La Nina. Well, I just wanted to show you guys this latest icon model. It's shifting towards the west. Everything is shifting towards the west. There's a huge high here. There's a high here that is strong, that is preventing this thing from doing anything. So what do I think about this hurricane? Honestly, I don't know. The trends have been shifting further to the west. I think it's going to take a turn like the National Hurricane Center is going to take, and is going to pull northward. The question is, how far close to the coastline does it get? Well, it all depends on all these areas of low pressure. If this low pressure can get out fast enough, then we have a problem. But it could become a nor'easter, but I don't know. And there's another piece of the run coming through. The icon model is now trying to push towards the west again. So yeah, I don't really know what to expect with this hurricane threat. All I know is probably a track like this where it kind of circles around and goes out to sea like this. But there's also the potential that it could curve back into New England because I've seen that with these runs as well. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss our upload. And without further ado, we'll see you in the next one.